Hello and welcome to episode 3 on our series on how you can respond to the coronavirus and how we can help you to keep your business up and running, and how we can all work together to help each other, really. So in this episode, we are going to talk about cutting costs. And I think it's key that I say about working together and helping each other, because when I talk about cutting costs, I don't mean just cancelling what you're paying. I don't mean, pulling back credit card charges of things that you've paid for and maybe not received yet. I mean working together with suppliers, working together with customers to see how you can save yourself some money during this time. So the first thing that we obviously looked at, and most of you will have already been well aware of this right now, but is the furloughing the staff. And we looked long and hard that we'd made a plan for some jobs that we could do during this period while we were quiet. When the furlough scheme was announced, we are trying to do a bit of an in-out furlough thing where I get some respite for 3 or 4 weeks where I don't have to pay a member of staff. They can come in for a week or two after that, get it back on top of work, and then go back on furlough and have some time off if the work isn't there. We're trying to juggle that at the minute because we are now getting busier and busier at the minute, but there is still a balance that we are nowhere near the level that we were at, prior to coronavirus. We need to have enough staff to keep our current customers happy, but a lot of the money that we're now charging is reduced. So it is a real balancing game. So cutting costs, we spoke to our server company. We work with a company called WP Engine. Luckily, we just got sorted with our servers. Some of our customers know we had a bit of a nightmare last year. We always trying to find the best system for ourselves and our customers. And we've had a lot of faffing around with that, really. But I'm settled now on WP Engine. I say I'm settled because during this series or during coronavirus, I have been looking for other options, mainly for clients that are experiencing very busy periods now and need to expand their websites, where we need to look at other options that the server that we currently have may not be the best solution for them. Really, our server is set up to have quite a lot of small websites on, rather than 4 or 5 big websites that may be better, standing alone. So bit technical, but we're looking at options all the time there. That, to be honest, it doesn't really matter to me because I can just pass that charge often on to my customers, but I always want to fight to have the best system and the best option for our customers at the best price. We don't have cheap options on the server side of things. We want to do it correctly. We want to make sure it's secure. We want to make sure it works in a good way for our customers. So I do think that's, for us, it's a big cost, and it's a very important cost. To give you an idea, our hosting or our server costs have often fallen between 10 and 20% of our overall cost of our business. So for me, that is a big outgoing each month. The other things we have is subscriptions. We have subscriptions to like training sites. We have subscriptions to Adobe. We have subscriptions to Google for emails. We have subscriptions for domains we own. We have subscriptions left, right, and center. Not just in business now, but we all have subscriptions at home. Netflix or Amazon Prime or Disney Plus or whatever. And the £5 and £10 a month and £15 a month do add up. So we took a long, hard look at a lot of these and cut back where we could. It's been a good exercise because a lot of them, we set up and maybe used 6 months ago, but now don't use. And by cutting back on 4 or 5 of these, you can save 50 quid a month, which doesn't sound like a great deal of money. I'm a bit of a penny pincher, so that is important to me. But 600 quid over the space of a year for us is nearly what we charge for our basic level website. So it means we don't have to do as many websites in that year if we cut that cost. So look at everything you spend. Some businesses are brilliant at this that we work with. Some are awful. If you are somebody that is awful, get somebody else to look at it. Be open and honest. Open up your book, whether it's somebody like us or a friend or whatever. Show them your books. Work through what you spend. Nobody cares. And I'm trusted with a lot of my friends' business access to their accounting software, so I can try and help them. I'm not interested in how much money you're taking home. I don't care how much wage you've got. That is your decision. It's on you. I want to help you cut your costs where you can and be open and honest. And, if you're putting things into your business that, sometimes people are trying to justify to me, I bought this new iMac and it's for me and, I use it for work and blah. I don't care what you spend your money on. What I do care about is when you're spending money that you don't need to spend to do with things that you've no idea what they're to do with. So it is really important during this time to look at them little 5, 10, 15, 20, 50, £100 a month and try and cut them as much as you can during this time. I'm cautious of saying keep cutting costs, but if these are things that you're not using, then cut back. I'm careful around the suppliers that you do need. So our server company, we do need. I don't want to just not pay them. I don't want to my direct debit to bounce. I want to talk to them, help them, and they can help us. And that to me is the best way to go, to actually pick up the phone and speak to your suppliers. I know in debt management advice always, it's speak to people, don't bury your head in that sand, ring up people. It's a horrible conversation to have for most people, to be like, I can't afford it. But right now we have a better excuse than ever. People are finding it easier with coronavirus just to be like, it's not my fault. But we can all do our best to cut them costs. So really focusing on that. We have lost, I think in my last figure that I pulled out was about 55% of our revenue for April. Yet our profit, I think at the minute, has only dropped about 15-20% because we've cut so many costs to go alongside the decrease in revenue. So I know some of you sat there with zero revenue and still with lots of costs going out, but it can be done, and minus £5,000 a month is a lot better than minus £15,000 a month if you can cut some of them costs. So there are obviously other areas, gas, electric, broadband, card terminals. These are all things that you now might have a little bit of time to start looking at. Card terminals, if you are taking over £20,000 a year on card terminals and you are paying over 1% in fees, you are paying too much. So get in touch. We can try and help you move providers. What we tend to do at the minute is work with Stripe for anyone who's looking to process online payments up to about 20 grand a year. And once you've moved past that 20 grand a year, £2 grand a month ish, we look to move on to other payment providers depending on who's got the best offers at the minute. We're quite often working with Payment Sense, we work with WorldPay. You can play these guys off each other like you would with Sky and Virgin and BT and all that. Same principle. It's a competitive market, and let's see if you can cut some of them costs. If you're taking £100,000 a year on a card terminal and you are paying PayPal 3.4% or whatever they charge, 3%, you could easily move to Stripe at 1.5%. We did this with a few businesses before coronavirus. That's £1,500 a year, 1.5% difference in costs on £100,000. These are huge costs that you can look at doing differently. It's the name of the game now that we have to pay merchant fees, but you can negotiate on the merchant fees and you can get them down. Come to me, tell me what you're paying. I'll see if I can find you a better deal. It's not something that we do, that's not my job, but I just know what other people are paying and what different companies are good at. We're a big fan of Stripe for low transaction online payments. It's super easy to set up. And as I say, at the minute, Payment Sense I've been really impressed with. Customer service seems to have really improved. They have struggled through the last 3 or 4 weeks, I have to say. They seem to have got rid of a lot of staff and it's not as easy to get through to, but they have been getting a lot better. So card payments, gas, electric, they're boring conversations, switching suppliers. But if your gas and electric bill as a business might be 4 or 5 grand a year, you'll be amazed. Right now the oil price is as low as it's been, and there are really good deals on the market. If you want to get in touch, we have like oil and energy people that we use. I don't even do it most of the time. I just give it to somebody else and they go and try and find me a better deal. Get in touch and we can see what we can do. So cut your costs, look at everything you're spending money on. And this is not just in business, this is in life right now as well. If you're struggling, but you're still paying £100 a month to Sky and you've still got your Netflix subscription at £12 a month and you're paying Amazon and X, Y, Z, look at that. Take a long, hard look and try and cut them costs. So I hope you enjoyed that episode. For me, it's one of the most important things out of this period is to look at reducing them costs where you can. Cheers.